what I'm talking about, some backwards audio. Don't know what it means, but I know what it means going forward. Love walked in through the door. Thunder. Yes. It's the Yeah Come On show. I'm Southside Steve. That's Brett Barney, my co-host. And this is a tribute show. This is a special one. It is near and dear to both of our hearts, and we'll explain here in a second. The Yeah Come On show brought to you by OxygenFinancial.com. Ted Jenkins. Go to Ted Jenkins at OxygenFinancial.com for all your investment needs. And Circle285.com. Circle285.com is there for you if you have insurance issues, homeowners, car. Are you paying too much? Have you been with the same company? Do you feel like if you make one mistake, they're going to cut you? Circle285.com is designed to get you free quotes, cost you nothing. Just let them quote you. See if they can't get you better insurance with a better company, and make sure you don't get cut if you make a mistake. And lastly, David Markwell, near and dear to this show. Excellent advice is given by this man. He is a psychologist like no other. His name of his company is Ridgeline Counseling, and he's located in Marietta. And this is the guy you want to talk to if you're having issues of any kind. Thank you, David Markwell. Now we move on to the Yeah Come On show. And my son's down here somewhere. There he is on the couch in the background. Where is he?
Walking behind you while you were doing that. That's why I kind of cracked a smile.
Okay, well, he's down here for a reason because his name is Brooks. And Brooks is named after Clifford Brooks. Huh? You okay? Your movie stopped. Brett, hold the phone because Brooks is down here for a reason and his movie stopped. This is real. This is happening live.
Well, you never know what's going to happen on this show, and there is a reason why Brooks is with us tonight, and I'm sure you can tell by the title exactly where this is going. This is a tribute show, as Steve said, and Steve, I'm going to let you take it away. I should call you Southside. I'm so used to calling you Steve.
It's okay. I'm both. Tonight, I'm definitely Southside Steve. Brooks is down here because he was named after Clifford Brooks Harwell, which was my grandfather, my mother's father. And his mother's maiden name was Brooks. But I got teased by Mike Brooks at our building, who was on air at 106.7. And Mike always said, "You named your son after me, didn't you?" And he never let it go. And Brooks is now 4 years old. So I got basically teased constantly. So finally I told Brooks, "You're right. I'm a huge fan of you. And I named my son after you. And that's it. And that's what we're going to go with." So he loved it. Mike Brooks is a guy that I met with Vinny Politan years ago when I was on the regular guys on 96 Rock. And I think it was prior to Rock 100.5 tail end. And then into Rock 100.5, these guys were on headline news and they were doing some really cool stuff. They were basically setting up murder scenes with a live jury and going over the information at hand and presenting it to a jury just to see how they would judge it. And it was fascinating. Mike Brooks was a great host on television. Then you learn, Vinny Politan goes on to work at 11 Alive, and Mike's kind of out there in the ether. And he asked me, he goes, "Hey, man, what's going on with that news show? I'd love to do a show." So I got him interviewed. I got him a test spot. He tested well. Then he did some fill-ins for the Kimmer. And then they came back to him and offered him a show. And he always thanked me for getting him in. But I told the program director, who was new to the area, I'm like, "Mike Brooks is solid. This guy's got a hell of a reputation. This guy was a DC cop. This guy was a badass. He represented and worked with presidents of the United States of America. He works with the fire department. He is a true American hero." And he's a conservative, and they wanted conservatives on the air at that time. So Mike always thanked me for that. But I got him the interview. It was Mike's talents that got him the job. And that was my experience with Brooks. I would see him. I showed up at a couple fires covering him from radio. He was there. We would always joke around and tease. He's a guy I had drinks with, had a cigar with, and just a friend. But he's a friend that I didn't get to see every single day. And Brett Barney did get to see him every single day. And the reason we're talking about Mike Brooks is because we lost him last week. Mike Brooks passed away in the night. Just the saddest thing in the world. People that should be in the world sometimes leave us, and people that shouldn't be here stick around to their last dying day at 99 years of age. So I don't know how it all works. I just know that God and Jesus are a little bit safer with Mike Brooks in heaven. I'll say that. But the world lost a great guy, just a solid guy. His mother, still alive, I think, 90 years old, 99, something like
90.
that. 90.
Yep.
And imagine, how crushed she is. You never want to go after your children. But those are just some of the experiences I have with Mike Brooks and my involvement with him. But I got contacted, and this is weird, and I'm going to toss it to you, Brett, but I'm staying at my mother's. We're in Alabama. I'm with my son, Brooks. Brooks wakes me up for no reason at about 1:47 a.m. And right about a minute later, because we're sleeping in the same bed, and I'm like, what's going on? He goes, Dad, I'm not sleepy. And we're talking about it. And then I get a text from Brett Barney, my co-host here. I never would have seen that text, but I got that text. And basically we were in a situation where I was like, okay, this is weird. And Brett said, Mike Brooks died. I never would have known that Mike Brooks died had I not gotten up because of my Brooks, who Brooks claimed was, the reason he was named Brooks. So it's just so weird. And then I sent you a text message. You contacted me, and that's when you told me, and you were in a dark place, in my opinion. You were very sad. You were emotional, and I'm glad I could take the phone call because of my Brooks. I found out about the Brooks passing, and I felt like I was there to help you and help talk you down a little bit. And I just want to do this show for him. And it's a show we did with Mike Brooks. And it basically sums this guy up. So if you watch this or listen to it, you'll know what the world lost. And I now toss it to you, Brett Barney, who you had much more involvement. You were beside yourself. And I wanted you to go last because I think you're hurt even worse than I am.
Well, I guess it's weird because you knew Mike Brooks much longer than I did, but him and we had a completely different relationship because he came into 1067 because you set him up there, and then I helped do stuff with him and produce his show and worked on his show and things like that. And we were just kind of like work friends, I would be in there already doing morning show, and he did noon to 3, and I would help him, and I would send him every night like all my prep stuff and make sure that he was ready to go. And we just kind of had this good relationship, and we joked around. We loved sports and this and that, and there was a lot of every day basically. There was the shift change where Shannon Burke's show would be going on, so it'd just be me and Mike by ourselves for an hour while I'm answering phones and I'm writing prep, and he's just sitting there, and him and I are just cutting up back and forth. And then 2.5 years ago, my dad gets sick, all this stuff. They say he's got, 48 hours to live. And I go home, and the 48 hours ended up being 11 days. But on the 10th day, I was like, I'm done with this. I'm going back to the office. Nobody expected me to show up. I showed up. I'm like, I've got to work. I can't sit at home. I can't be around this any longer. I'm over it. Like, what happens, happens. Worked Shelly Winter show, worked Shannon Burke's show, and it was Mike and I went one-on-one on his show, and that was when I got the call. My dad was sitting there listening to me and Mike Brooks when he passed away. And
Wow.
after that, Mike and I had like this really, really tight bond. And even before that, Mike had set up parties for the radio station and things like that. And one was the Governor Kemp election party. And that's actually where I met my wife, who Mike introduced me to. So
Wow.
when we first started dating, we went to the bar that Mike likes to hang out at, Universal joint down the street. And he jokingly, we're all drinking together, and he goes, if you two ever get married, I'm going to officiate your wedding. And we were like, all right, cool. So when we got engaged, the very first phone call we got was from Mike Brooks. And we sat there and we talked with him, and he was just ecstatic and everything. It was just great. And we were all excited. And I went to her brother's bachelor party, and when I'm driving hours back, him and I are sitting on the phone talking for 2-3 hours, just cutting it up, catching up with each other, and making sure everything's going on. Sad thing is, right before the wedding, his mother got really sick. He had to go to DC. We had to change plans with officiant and all that. But I would still go meet him at the bar, and we'd have a couple drinks all the time. I mean, it's only a few minutes down the street. And when I got the call, actually, it was a text message from a Cobb County police detective who won an award on this show. Said, "I'm sorry about your buddy Brooks," and I was just like, "What?" And I drove over to his house, and I was just like, "What is going on?" And then, like, literally, when it hit me was right when you called me. And it was like 2:30 in the morning.
It was late. It was so weird because I never would have been up, but my son Brooks was restless. And it's funny because Mike Brooks always teased me that my son was named after him. So it was almost like Brooks is like, look, you don't know this, but Brett's hurting. I need you to be awake and talk to him. So, when I text you right back, then you knew I was awake. You call me and I talked to you, and you weren't, I'm not going to act like you were crazy. You weren't, but you were sad. You'd been drinking, you were out, and
Yeah,
you
I
were
was
just kind
I
of
was depressed.
you were, but think about it. This is a guy that your father passed away while listening to the two of you.
Yeah.
The two of you were together when your father passed, and the last people he heard talking on this earth were you and Mike Brooks. Then Mike Brooks introduces you to your wife. So he played a role in your life, and he was a good guy to be a mentor because he did so many different things, and his background was incredible. A lot of people just know him for being on 106.7. Man, that's nothing. That
Dude,
is
that
that
is a
is
sliver in the finger of his
yeah.
entire career.
Those are crumbs. If he's a pie,
Yeah.
those are crumbs at 106.7. But if that's all you know him for, and if that's all you know he did, then that might even just be good enough for you to be upset. But when you look at the guy's career and the things he did and the people he met, I looked up one of the pictures of him. There he is, shaking hands with Reagan, and he's in his DC outfit, a police outfit. He wasn't Secret Service. He was a policeman assigned to the president of the United States, and to the White House and things like that. And he just was around these guys. But his stories are unbelievable. And in the situations he was in, or the people he pulled weapons on, or the people he busted, and then the stuff he did with the fire departments. I mean, it's just so much.
I
It's
mean, it
like,
goes.
and
I
then
mean, there's FBI. I mean, the list goes on and on.
FBI,
You're gonna hear this because he shares it all with us, which is
yeah,
funny. He came on our podcast 2 years ago this week, our
that's
very first 4th of July podcast.
yeah, he was there for the 4th of July, so it's just, I hate it. I can just hear him laughing and talking right now. Like I said, but you have to realize I may have known him a long time and I may have done him a solid getting him on the station, but he earned his job and everything, but that's where he met you. So, that's why you got to get good people involved in things. The fact I got him hired played major roles in your life, but he deserved that job. He was qualified for that job, and there's so much more he could have done. On headline news, that was cake for him. That him on television at 10 p.m. at night doing what he was doing, it was like nothing. He showed how talented. There's not much Mike Brooks couldn't do. So leaving it with you for the last words, I will say that I'm sad. I'm glad that we both knew him. I'm glad we had him on the Yeah Come On show, and I'm glad that if anybody they want to stick around. If you want to know what a true patriot sounds like and looks like, check out this podcast from 2 years ago on July 4th.
Well, if I'm getting the last word here, can I show you something before we
Sure,
let this rip? So I actually had
sure.
something custom made, and I was going to give it to him probably like this week or whatever. I'd had a custom
Wow.
Brooks cooler made for him. I'm just like, well,
Uh,
like we were good
you
friends.
know what?
We were friends, man. That's
You're,
all it
you
was.
are, Brett. That touches me, man. I'm so sorry you didn't get a chance to give it to him. You know what? You might want to talk to his mother or other people. Maybe that's something that he gets buried with, or something that you take out there, or something. I don't know, or something
Who
you give to somebody, one of his family members. But
Who
That's
knows?
pretty awesome.
All
Or maybe
I said,
you keep it to remind you of him.
yeah. All I said is outside of being, misquoted by Rodney Ho, but I said Mike Brooks was a big man. He was big in stature. He was one of the biggest voices you'd ever meet, but he also had the biggest heart. And he was easy to love and easy to appreciate and be around. And if you could do your job, he had your back 100%. And I respected him immensely just for the human he was.
Yep. And, he would get, we were both around him when he'd get upset. The guy was a walking, talking John Wayne to me. He was another John Wayne disciple. And, he had no tolerance for this world we're living in right now and where this country's headed in this woke crap. And, I can say it on this podcast. I agree with him 100%. There's not much that I didn't agree with Mike Brooks on. So, that's, and he's right. Whether you believe it or not, he's right. And he's not a guy that stamps on the little people or stomps on them. I mean, he doesn't do that. He just doesn't have time for BS, and he'll call it like he sees it. And you got to respect a guy like that.
I 100% agree. 100% agree. And Steve,
Well,
if you want to toss it to the show,
yeah,
let's let everybody who doesn't know Mike Brooks have their opportunity.
yeah. And regardless of your opinions, again, I don't know how you think, how you vote, but if you want to see what the American flag looks like in skin, you're about to see the guy. It's Mike Brooks from Southside Steve, myself, and Brett Barney, my co-host. Two guys that are that could cry if they wanted to. This is our dear friend Mike Brooks on the Yeah Come On Show. Love has walked through this door. Love is sitting across from me, not directly, but over there. And I will introduce Love to you in a minute. Right now, you are listening to or watching the Yeah Come On Show. Can I get a yeah, come on, Brett Barnett?
Yeah, come on.
That sounded stupid. The Yeah Come On Show brought to you by Oxygen Financial with 2 locations in the Atlanta metro. We're talking Buckhead and we're talking right here where we are in lovely Alpharetta. Ted Jenkins, go to oxygenfinancial.net for all your money needs. And you know what? Everybody needs money and everybody needs to manage your money, so let Ted manage your money. Just made that up. That's a brand new tagline. Right now I go to Brett Barney because something we're doing right here on the Yeah Come On Show is we're obviously trying to build our audience. We ask that you subscribe. That is free, by the way. One day it may cost you. That's right. It could. Ooh. Not you watching, not you that's subscribing, but somebody that subscribes, in about 2 months, I may charge your ass.
Yeah, why not?
This show kicks ass.
You got to be an early adopter to get it free.
Someone's got to pay for those lap dances.
Damn right. I got issues and they got to be paid for. So what we want to do right now on the Yeah Come On Show is we want to give you feedback, those of you that are sending us messages, doing the downloads and subscribing and passing this show on to all your friends. So when you're stuck in Atlanta traffic, you can listen to us. What do you got, Brett?
All right, here's some of the comments. And first off, I'd like to say I'm glad to see that you're still alive.
Oh, I am. I did not go to the DR. I went to the
Mexico.
I've never heard it referred to as the end.
CM. I went to Mexico. I did not go to the Dominican Republic. I went to Mexico with my family because it was safer. But I will tell you, I stayed at the Hard Rock. We all know a lot of Americans, proud Americans, dying at the Hard Rock. And what they've done is they've removed the what do you call it? The room liquor?
Bed and breakfast.
No, not the bed and breakfast. The liquor in the room.
So all the fun.
All the fun is out of the room. They took it out of the rooms in Mexico, and they took it out of the rooms in the Dominican Republic. And I took my son there and my wife, and I went with my father-in-law and my mother-in-law and a sister-in-law. And the only person that got the poo-poos was my wife. She got sick on day 4 and had this thing going on in the upper stomach area, like little pain. She had the diarrhea. She went back to the room.
Good thing her and your son were the same size diaper.
I'm telling you, it worked.
My stomach almost fell right out of my ass.
You know what? When that falls out, it hurts. So Mexico only got one of us, but nobody died. So here I am.
That's good. All right.
Glad to have you back.
It's a damn pleasure.
As Steve was saying, you should definitely subscribe, rate, and review. Leave comments because I'm going to read them at the beginning of every episode. Steve has not read any of these comments, so you're going to get his reaction live on the show.
I do well with this, Brett. If somebody wants to hate, bring it.
Here we go. John Newby said, I believe Southside is a love child of the Kimmer.
So the Kimmer had
Any
sex
truth?
with somebody.
Your
and
mom?
My mom. And so he did my mom.
Yeah.
He would have to because that's the only place I came from.
Or your grandma, and then your dad was no, because that wouldn't make you the love child.
Look, shut up. You know,
I'm trying to work down the family tree of how to get Kimmer in here.
All right, there's a chance that Kimmer could be my father. The good news is my mother is still alive. My father is not, and I will question my mother under a hot light.
All right, Print on Plus wrote Southside Steve has a little Ted Nugent in him.
It's cat scratch fever. Yeah, really?
The nude.
The nuge, man. I don't know about that.
Cool Breeze wrote, love the show, but why does Brett Barney look like a 10-year-old that just got molested every time he drinks? Is that true?
Didn't know. I would say you have a young look. I think you have a young boy look. You have a roundish face. You're kind of like
a young boy look. Thank you.
You're actually like a Charlie Brown with hair. And I don't
Round head, yeah.
You're a cutie pie. And I will tell you, if there's anybody on this program that has been with a man, or
What?
I'm just saying, if somebody had,
Well, that took a lefter.
hey, against your will, that means it's not your fault.
Oh, gay for the stay. I got you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Go ahead and be you. But go ahead.
Right. My boy Ski Boy wrote in, dude, you two are the same person 25 years apart.
That's a compliment. I guess that's a compliment.
I think that scares Brett.
It's better for me, not for him. You're me 25 years ago.
And finally, Ron Foster wrote in, that was awesome. I love the Kimmer and Pete. Steve didn't seem like a dumbass as he usually does. He was fun, and the back and forth was very entertaining. I don't usually watch these kinds of things. No shot at Southside. That was definitely a shot.
That was a shot. What was his name?
It was Ron Foster.
Ron, this is Southside talking to you. Actually, this is Steve Rickman. Okay, on the radio, I might play a little bit of a role. I might see dumber just to be entertaining. But on this particular
It's
show,
not seeming
occasionally I like to,
entertaining.
I'm really addressing this dude right now.
It's between him and the.
Can you let me just talk to this guy? But you know what? On this show, if I decide to show you my intelligence, I will.
I'm still waiting.
Stop. All right, now, thank you for those reviews. Keep sending them in. Make sure you download and subscribe. Tell your friends before I start charging people. Right now, our talented and off-air producer, I go to one Tyler Maynard. Can you cue the music? Because it is time to meet the Yeah Come On Show's guest of the week. At the age of 16, he became a firefighter. When he turned 18, he graduated high school, like most people, and he went right into the police academy. Then he spent 26 years with the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department, retiring as a detective. He worked for the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force. During his time on the FBI Evidence Response and Rapid Deployment Team, he investigated the Khobar Tower bombing in Saudi Arabia, the U.S. Embassy bombing in Kenya, and the crash of TWA Flight 800. He trained at Blackwater. His life has been played out on the big screen by Jamie Foxx in The Kingdom. He consulted on The Insider with Russell Crowe and Al Pacino. From there, he became the head of the international security for Delta. They're ready when you are. Then he became a TV star on CNN, HLN, and Court TV. He's the only man to ever fill Nancy Grace's high heels. And those are big feet, and he's got big feet too. Standing at 6'7", he should be playing on the NBA. But we all know white man can't jump, nor can he. He's a proud American. He's the host with the most. Mike Brooks' radio show is in the studio. Mike Brooks, my man.
Good to be with you guys. Thanks for inviting me. Good God, I miss being in front of a microphone. This is fantastic.
You do well, sir.
Thank
do
you.
well.
Thank you. On occasion. On occasion.
I guess next week somebody will say that you had sex with my mother and I'm your son.
Well, I don't know.
I've been meaning to tell you, Steve.
I don't even know the age group, but I will tell you at 6'7", I don't think my mother would ever walk the same
Well,
again. Mike
think
Brooks.
about this, though. What did he name his first son? What was that? What did you name your first son?
My first son is
And only
my first,
son.
It's my only son so far. Brooks.
And what is my last name?
Brooks.
Need I say more?
Coincidence? Yeah.
Check, please.
I think not. And I will tell
And
you.
I love me some Amanda.
Yeah, I know you do. I know you do.
Hey-o.
I don't know why when it came time to name, she goes, I really like Brooks. Can we call him Brooks?
She has cute feet too. So
Yeah, and you do have cute feet. Huge feet, but cute feet. But matter of fact, your feet look better than Nancy Grace's. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that.
I look better in heels than Nancy Grace does too.
Yes, you do. And I just want to tell you what a pleasure it is to have you on the Yeah Come On show. I know Brett Barney and I both talked. We figured this week, July 4th week, I wanted, honest to God, a proud American. I wanted a dude in here that pretty much thinks the way I do, the old America. I call it the John Wayne America.
There you go.
And I think we get that with you because people don't understand you got to be strong to be safe, and being a pansy is only going to get people hurt, and you're no pansy, sir.
No, thank you very much. In fact, with the 4th of July this week, 23 years ago today, I was actually at the bombing scene in Khobar Towers, working the bombing scene. In fact, we worked through the 4th of July, and then on the 5th, they told everybody we're going to give you the day off, and the CIA went over to Bahrain, and they loaded up a truck with booze and beer, and they brought it over to a secret location because, you're not supposed to drink in the kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And I just stood at the end of the bar. I said, I want one beer. I said, and when I put my finger up, put another beer down and another beer until I pass out. And because we had nothing to drink from the time we got there on June 26th up until the 5th. We had no beer, and for me that's unusual. And,
yeah, you need your beer, bro.
Absolutely. Keep me hydrated.
Look, maybe you don't realize I'm doing some investigating, and I do better investigating when I'm buzzed. Speaking of drinking, I just want to say special thanks to Woodruff Reserve. I don't know that you'll always be my liquor.
Who's Woodruff?
Well, Woodruff.
Woody?
Woodford. Oh, did I say Woodruff?
Yeah, Woodruff.
You know what? Woodruff is a Boy Scout camp I went to as a kid. That
He
just
can't
flashed
read
back.
good.
And there's a lot of Woodruffs around the city of Atlanta as well.
Dyslexia getting you again.
Actually, I know some of the Woodruffs are right. Anybody know anybody that is a part of the Coca-Cola family? Hello. All right, it's Woodford. That shows that maybe I've had too damn many. Woodford Reserve. Is the reason you're not sponsoring this show because I call you Woodruff?
I think that was the first time only.
Southside just came here to party. Yeah, come on.
I did. All right, but look, I want to talk about what you guys are drinking. Brett Barney, you did something very sweet for our guest, and I want to give you credit.
What a guy.
Talk about it, Brett. What did you do?
So Brooks and I, obviously, we worked together at 106.7. We've been working together for like 3-something years. We've known each other.
Yep.
It's been a while. And I know he's a Moscow Mule guy. I'm a big Moscow Mule guy. And he'd been telling me about these things called the copper can, but they're about impossible to find. And I went and spent my weekend trying to find these things, knowing that he was coming on, so we could finally enjoy them together.
No, that's some brotherly love. I'm telling you. I am touched.
I am touched. What do you got there? Let me see this thing.
A little Moscow Mule.
It's called the copper can.
The copper can.
It's tasty, yeah.
It is. I tell you, I had a Moscow Mule last night at my spot, the U joint down in Oakhurst, and I'm telling you what. They are pretty damn good.
Boy, that's good.
It really is.
Yeah.
Dude, that is like awesome.
For a canned, pre-mixed, thing. It's
Dude,
tasty.
No, it is really good.
I might buy one of those off of you to give my wife. Get her going today.
Is she feeling better since you tried to poison her down in Riviera Maya or wherever you were down there?
See, that's the thing. You go to the Dominican Republic or Riviera Maya where I went and your wife gets sick and dies, it's not your fault. It's theirs. Mm-hmm. But I would never do that, honey. Mm-hmm. I love you dearly.
And where have a lot of the incidents in the Dominican Republic, where have they happened and where did you stay?
That would be the Hard Rock.
There you go.
I stayed at the Hard Rock. You know why? I literally called the Hard Rock in the DR and I'm like, look, man, I'm abandoning ship. I'm sorry. I'm a proud American and I'm in the press. And if you hurt me or somebody in my family, if I even get a touch of diarrhea, I'm going to talk bad about the DR for the rest of my life. So they're like, how can we help you, sir, and get you out of here? And I'm like, but they told me I was going to get nailed with fees. But they said, hey, if you go ahead and go to the Hard Rock somewhere else, we won't hit you. So I chose Hard Rock, Mexico.
Well, you know it's bad when Delta Airlines waives change fees and allows you to cancel a flight that you already had with them to the Dominican Republic. You know things are getting bad there.
They are. And right now the United States has it as a level 2, and I think Delta's still treating it as a level 2. If it goes to a level 3, then it's really bad. But level 2, I think we discussed last week, that's the norm, right, Brett? That's just proceed with caution.
I can't remember last week.
He goes week to week. He goes.
I can't remember yesterday.
I just want to hold on.
That's normal.
Let me address the audience again. You know, I got Brett here, and I'm just trying to include him. So I throw him an easy beach ball, and what does he do?
Wait, hang on,
Fancy.
Steve. Let me answer this one for you.
Go ahead.
Yep. Or excuse me. Yeah, come on.
Oh, see, now that's it. There's different yeah, come ons. Mike Brooks knows there's the redneck, yeah, come on. Mm-hmm. And then there's like the cool, I'm getting laid in Buckhead, like Mike Brooks. It's, yeah, come on. or you can do the quickie, yeah, come on. I mean, there's different yeah, come ons. They're not all redneck. This shows you went down.
But you are. You're white. You're redneck white trash. I've known you for how many years? Come on, man.
A lot of years. Okay, here's the deal. I grew up. My formative years.
I didn't put you into poor white trash.
I know,
white trash.
just white trash.
Okay.
You're right. From kindergarten,
Classy white trash.
From kindergarten, to elementary school to high school. Yes, we had an above ground pool in a split level in College Park. Guilty.
There's no way with hair like yours that Brooksy banged your mom, so I think we're good this week.
Hold on.
Did you have skirting on your
callback.
trailer?
Hold on. I got it styled right now too. Check it out. Hello, highlights.
That's really working for people who listen to the audio.
Yeah, how's that
there.
spray?
Yeah.
How's that spray tan working there for you too, there, Sally?
Press the ponytail against the microphone. Let people get a good listen.
Here.
Put some sun in. He put some sun in the ponytail.
Mike Brooks.
Does Amanda pull your hair when? Never mind.
Oh yeah. Who pulls who hair?
I've always wondered.
We both pull each other's hair. It's like, ow, 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 ow. No, I'm glad that you do follow me. It shows that you follow me. I did get a spray tan. I don't normally do that. And let me tell you, man.
Oh, God, you kidding?
I got black. I mean, I was like, what kind of color did you give me, man? I went dark brown. And I was like, this does not look natural. Do you know that I'm white?
Trash.
By the way, I am not capable of throwing my voice. That was me weeks ago.
I'll take credit for that one.
Oh, God.
No, but tell me, and
blame.
I want to talk about the one reason I had you on is because I think you've been on camera, not like most of us radio guys. You've been on camera a lot, Mike Brooks, and you're a guy that I think should be behind a microphone or in front of a camera. I did what I could to help you at 106.7 to get you on. I spoke for you.
You got me to try out.
I did. I actually, and I'll tell you, there's not many people I do this for because most people in radio are broken or weird as hell, or they're super nerd, and I just can't trust them. But you're a guy that I can, and I went to him. I said, "This dude's solid as a damn rock." I said, "I'm not saying the job's beneath him, but for what he's done in his life, a little bit. But he's got a lot to talk about. He's got a lot to say, and he's never short of words. And he's a professional." And they gave you the shot. And then the next thing you know, you got the job. You were no fill-in. They gave you your own spot. And I just want to know, how you feel about the loss of 106.7, and going in, working every day, and what your plans are and kind of what's going on.
No, I tell you what, 106.7, and I appreciate everything Steve did, because when I heard that they shit-canned one of their 9 to noon guy, and I said, well, you know what? How about a shot? Well, they had already, I think, decided who they really wanted to begin with, but they were trying these different people out. And so Greg Tatum, who was the program director at the time, he said, I'll give you an hour. So after the hour, he went, wow, that was pretty good, for never doing radio before. And I'd done a little bit of radio. I'd sat in on your old show, the Regular Guys show, a couple times doing the celebrity news kind of thing. I've been I substituted up in Minneapolis, Minnesota on KSTP.
Snow
AM
reports.
1500. Yeah, talking about guns and people like hurting. And
Today we're
like that.
talking about cheese, guns, and snow.
And ice fishing.
Stuff that matters to people. Yeah.
Come on.
No, but it was great. And then right after that, Shannon Burke had the visitor or the listeners vote on who they liked, and Shannon and I got the highest votes. And then right after that, after Shannon got the job, I got a call. What are you doing next week? Would you like to come and sit in for the Kimmer? So I went, I'm Kimmer approved? That's pretty damn good.
That's pretty huge.
Absolutely. So then I wound up being a substitute for Kimmer and Shannon and that other liberal, no good, Brian, somebody.
Let him not be known.
Yeah. And then when they decided they were going to flip formats and go to all talk, I was privileged enough to get the noon to 3 spot. And it was fantastic. And I tell you, working with people like Brett Barney and everybody there at 106.7 and the Hangman, and it was great. And I miss it. Every day I get up. What am I going to do today? Well, let me see. Maybe I'll do some laundry or
Listen to Mo Bamba.
But I got some things working right now, and I still also have the Sunday show with criminal defense attorney Dan Conaway called Arrested, which is on 4 o'clock every Sunday evening on AM 920. So that is on the answer, they call it. But yeah, I'm doing that, and I might have a little something coming up here in the next couple of weeks.
Well, and I became a fan of yours, and that's where I think we first met because you did come on the regular guys on Rock 100.5, and this was years ago.
Yeah.
But I saw you, on CNN. I loved what you were doing on Court TV, and I knew you'd been on HLN
On In
as
Session,
well.
yeah.
Yeah, the In Session thing that you were doing with your buddy now on 11 Alive.
Well, Vinny's now the lead anchor for Court TV because Court TV is back, and you may see me in the very near future on Court TV as well.
We should. You and Vinny played so well off each other.
Yeah.
And at the time, I got a kick out of you because you're kind of like I am. I think you're more factual than I am. I think you're a natural host. I'm a color guy. And for me, you were a color guy
You're
on
a
that
color
show.
guy?
I am a color.
Oh,
Well,
that's a spray tan.
No. You know that I'm white?
I'm avoiding this.
No, I'm just kidding. I thought you said you're
It's
you're a
like the
color
plague
guy.
just got put in front of me.
I'll go ahead and break
away.
myself
Say,
down.
okay.
Stay
No.
away.
Here's the deal. I'm a black man inside, white man out, and I wish I was an American Indian. There you go. Now you know.
I'm Southside Steve. I'm black below the waist. Come on now.
How?
Oh wait, yeah, come on now.
No. You're a host, but you are a color guy.
I am a color guy. I can work with somebody that just has to be the host. I don't have to be the host. I can do color. I don't mind.
Exactly.
I like it. It's fun for me to get set up. It's like a T-ball. It's like, how can you miss? Especially when you're as good as I am.
And see, that was kind of my role with Vinny and I
Sure.
on In Session.
Similar role that I have, and I respected it. Therefore, I was entertained by you. And nothing against Vinny. I like
Nope.
a good setup guy. I like a fat guy. You got to have it. I've got that in Jason Bailey on
Fat
Bailey
guy?
and Southside. Not fat. Sometimes they are. But no, I enjoyed you. You made me laugh and everything. So I became a fan of yours, not even knowing you. And then when I got a chance to meet you and then saw how you were integrated into not just the APD, but also the fire department.
Right.
I couldn't believe you got so much mad respect out there on the streets and with the Atlanta Fire Department. How is it that you relate to that? Because I know all your work was in Washington.
Well, see, I started off, back when I was a kid, when I was 2 years old, my dad, Joe Brooks, his name was Clarence, but everybody called him Joe. Because actually, when I was born, my grandmother said to my mother, "Are you gonna?" Because he's a junior. "Are you gonna name your new son Clarence?" My mother said, "I wouldn't name my dog Clarence."
Hell.
So it was Clarence J. Brooks, and everybody knew him as Joe.
How tall was your dad?
Dad was about 6 feet. He was about 6 feet tall. Mom was about 5'7", so which is tall for a woman back then.
I was hoping you were going to say your mom was like 7 foot.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting on. It's like a pure Amazon.
Sasquatch.
And she was a hell of an athlete. She played volleyball, basketball, that kind of thing. Even while she was pregnant with me. Anyway.
Oh, that makes sense.
When I was 2, it makes sense. That's why I was such a good athlete.
She ever take a hit to the belly?
One too many.
So when I was 2, my dad actually became a volunteer fireman, and I hung around the firehouse with my dad when I was a kid. And he told me what to do if the bells kicked in. Go sit in that chair. You wait there, and I'll be back. And dispatcher was there. And so when I was 16 years old, I was around it my whole life. My mom was in the Lays Auxiliary, so there was a working fire. She would take the coffee wagon out and give refreshments to the police and firemen there on scene. And so I kind of grew up around that. So I guess I was destined to be either a policeman or a fireman. And I said, well, I couldn't make up my mind, so I decided to become a volunteer fireman. And then I took the test for Arlington when I became old enough. I took the test for Arlington County Fire Department and DC Police. DC Police called me first. But in the meantime, when I turned 16, I became a volunteer firefighter with Clarendon Volunteer Fire Department, Arlington, Virginia, where my dad was a firefighter as well.
You're doing both. I liked it because you're the only fireman I know that showed up with a gun. That's great.
Well,
you never see a fireman carrying a gun. Mike Brooks did. He would put out a fire with a gun.
Well,
I like it.
When I moved out to Fairfax,
At it, yeah.
Damn flames!
I'll shoot the flame.
They're heading right for us.
You know what was kind of cool though. When I was out in Fairfax, I was assistant fire chief out with the Burke Volunteer Fire Department in Fairfax County, Virginia, and I had a take-home car. And in my take-home car, my SWAT car, I had my SWAT gear on one side, I had my fire department gear on the other side of the trunk, and I had 2 weapons inside. I was ready for anything. And in fact, one day on the way into work, a working fire came up and turned the corner. You could see the smoke in the sky, and I said, "Assistant Chief 14-2 Fairfax add me to the call. And was a little late for work, but didn't matter.
Sure.
It's all about public service. That's all
You
it
know,
is.
sorry, guys, I'm a little late, but I was putting out a fire. You and I worked a fire together.
Up there at Clark, Atlanta.
Yes, we did.
That's
We showed
right.
up both on the scene. I heard about it. I'm on my way to work, and I'm like, I'm going to detour and go ahead and get a live action here. Or was it at night? I'm trying to remember.
No, it was during the day.
It was during the day.
Yep.
And then I'm working it, you know.
Right off MLK.
Yeah, right off MLK.
Because you were living down in the
Castleberry.
then. Yeah.
I was literally, my loft was probably about 3 blocks from there. So I was 4 blocks if you do New York City blocks.
Yeah.
So I show up and I'm there covering it, trying to get a little intel, you know, talking to people. And I look up, Brooks is there doing what he does. Except he's behind the scenes. He's over there like hooking up nozzles and stuff. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? We're both media guys. He goes, I'm a fireman too, brother.
I'm doing real man work. Yeah.
Just trying to help brothers out, you know?
He's like, I got the hose. Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and stretch a line? Brooks has got you. And I'm over there just going, hey, could you tell me about the fire? The microphone. No, I was.
Yeah, because I hadn't seen you in a while. And
No.
that's kind of, we reconnected. And then,
We did.
then not too long after that was, gave you a call and said, hey, what's up with that thing over there, 1067?
You know what? And I'm glad you got that gig.
No, I am too. Thank you.
Again, I will enjoy you. I'm glad you're on the AM. And again, what AM number is that where people can see you on? This is on Sundays only.
Yep, AM 920. But there's something else in the works. I'll be letting people know. If you follow me on Facebook, you can hit me up on Facebook. On Twitter, it's at TV Detective, as well as Instagram at TV Detective.
So it's all TV Detective. It's not just Mike
Nope,
Brooks.
it's TV Detective.
TV Detective. That's easy. And I'll take my glasses off again.
He detects TV.
He does. I'm going to tell you right now, if it's detectable, he'll detect it.
Damn right.
WGST, what are you waiting on? Mike Brooks is sitting over here. Seriously.
God.
Yeah, I'm serious. You know what? You could probably talk sports. 92.9 the game. What are you waiting on?
We can talk it all.
We could talk it all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, your guy needs to stay in Atlanta, and your guy needs to be on the air. And there's not many, you know. And I say the John Wayne thing. Does that register with you? That kind of America? Am I right in saying that? It's not a Clint Eastwood thing. It's a John Wayne thing.
No,
am I right?
it's all about the red, white, and blue,
Yeah.
and it's all about America. And I mean, this whole thing with the Betsy Ross flag and Colin Kaepernick this week, you talk about pissing me off.
I'm about to say Nike has a
Come on, man.
huge campaign. They're going to unleash a shoe that has the Betsy Ross,
Good
the 13 states in a circle stars, and he
Why did
puts.
that deserve air quotes? The Betsy Ross.
I just felt like doing
Okay.
that.
I was like, that is the name for it, right?
By
Okay,
the
I wasn't
way,
sure.
don't think Brooks and I are really happy with your shirt because you got it unbuttoned showing your Magnum PI hair chest.
come on, dog.
And I got to tell you can move your titties. That's nice. But I will tell you
That's
right
what
now.
happens when you go to the gym.
How long have you had that?
Oh, dude, you can
Because
see
it looks like it looks like a
Yeah.
tattered flag.
It's pit
And you
stain.
know what?
That's bad boys.
Men-
A couple years
Disrespectful
ago.
to the flag, yeah.
Look, men wearing flag shirts, no.
No.
Now women
Whoa, whoa,
wearing bikini red, white, and blue with stars, that's okay.
And by the way,
What about
look,
bros?
hold on. I got to say this on the bikini. I don't know why it is super dirty, but it's super hot. It's like the
Oh,
chick with
God,
with the
yes.
piercing and the tattoo on the back. I love a good Confederate flag bikini. I don't know why the rebel
I
flag.
knew it.
Hell yeah, I'm
'Cause
from
you're
the
white
South.
trash.
I'm white trash. But look, it doesn't mean I'm a racist. It just means that's sexy. That's Southern. And the girl wearing that is going to get in sexual positions the girl in the American flag bikini will not get into.
Just
That
saying.
sounds like the voice of experience to me right there.
Oh yeah, I've dated those girls. Hey, they're in a Kid Rock video. Don't hate on me.
Hey, what was the name of your bar down the south side?
It was called, well, conveniently enough, it was called Southside Steve.
Oh, imagine that.
But it was based on Smoking the Bandit with the old flag. Now, I will tell you, my father, Louis J. Rickman, God bless, known as Rick Rickman, because people call me Rick sometimes too, he educated me, letting me know that that flag was done for racist reasons in 1956. He said, I know it looks cool. I like it. I put the Stars and Bar Georgia state flag down there just because that was what was on the front of the Trans Am with Burt Reynolds. So I
Right.
had the Georgia side and the Texas side. And people actually got offended by it. And I was like, my God, it was in a damn movie. And it used to be our state flag. He's up there, Charles. But But I will tell you that he educated me to that, so I knew it was wrong. So I was raised properly, thank God. He actually tried to redesign a state flag for Georgia, and it was a powder blue with the 3 columns, and which is kind of what we use right now in our state flag.
Right.
And he was pitching it to White Fowler at the time, and he was trying to get it approved, saying, this was done for the wrong reasons, and he educated me to that. So, I'm just saying it's dirty and hot when a girl wears one, but I do know the difference.
This is the look you like, right? Isn't it? Right there?
That is what I'm. No.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, come on.
That guy just got hotter.
Can we explain this to people who are only listening to audio?
Yes, of course.
Look at the different bikinis. You couldn't find a chick in there.
There's your girl. There's your girl. Yeah.
All right, now look, that is a girl that's going to have sex with you, missionary.
Tyler, why was my head
There's
so
your
close
American
to his-
flag, man.
Texas.
Oh, dude, yeah, American and Texas.
Oh God, you guys gotta watch the
Wait,
video for this.
throw the rebel flag one up there just to be funny.
Which one?
Right here.
The big blonde with the
Oh yeah,
bazingas.
this one. Oh,
Hey,
the other one, yeah.
Oh, see,
Oh, she's a little busted. I like this one a little.
that's
bit.
why you got to watch this on YouTube.
Yes, yeah.
She was
This
busted.
part is only for viewers. No.
But Brooks, you know what I'm saying. It's wrong, but it's hot.
It is.
Thank you.
I
That's all
hear
I'm
you.
saying. You know what I'm saying. But I am God bless America. And let me tell you, there's nothing I like wearing better than the red, white, and blue.
Hey, me too.
I wouldn't wear that shirt.
But you know what? This whole thing. Let me. I just
Dog,
one more thing.
Shop
On,
at Pakistan.
But if you will
Let him rant. Let the man.
No,
rant.
look here. We're missing stars.
Oh, it's-
right now, you are offending. You're offending Kaepernick because you're only showing like 48 stars. If you'll button it up one more, we'll get a couple more stars out of your shirt.
see, and what the whole thing with Kaepernick. I'm just going to say one more thing about this, and I'll be done.
Sure.
With him, that goes to show that he didn't give a damn about this social justice BS and police brutality. He just hates the United States, he hates the flag, and he hates the national anthem. Bottom line, that's it. Nothing to do with police brutality. Screw him.
You've been screwed, Kaepernick.
Amen.
I'm telling you, I was pissed off when I read that.
You pissed off? No way.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. See, and I make my little rebel fun. I did air quotes again.
Yeah, dude, calm down
Stop.
the
Here,
air.
let me do my
What's
hands.
up?
Watch this. I'll grip the table. I'm just doing rebel fun.
Let me go down to the
stuff.
truck and get the handcuffs. We'll handcuff him to the chair. He can't
Yeah.
use his hands.
God, no.
It's like Bernie Sanders. If you can't use his hands, you can't talk.
I can't talk to you. I'm just telling you, I'm joking around about the rebel thing.
Steve gets handcuffs. This table's going to go up 2 or 3 inches because I hear that's your thing.
What?
Getting cuffed up, baby. Come on.
What's that? I've never been cuffed. Here's what I will tell you right now, listening audience.
Have you cuffed?
No, I've never
You've
cuffed.
definitely cuffed.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, this guy definitely. Yeah,
Brooks,
he
I can
has
tell you a
to.
story about that.
I will just say to clear myself when we get into one of Brooks's dark ass stories.
No. I'm not going to tell.
But you know what? All I'll say is she's still with us. No, but for me, people, humor. Chills. No, I personally have never cuffed anybody or wanted to be cuffed because I can't give up that kind of control. I don't even know that I'd let my wife handcuff me, and I trust her more than anybody in the world. I just don't think so.
Yeah, it's vulnerable.
Yeah, I mean, do you know bad things can happen once you get cuffed? That's when people lose penises, and I am not letting that happen to me.
And also,
The whole room went silent on that. It's like, oh God.
also, if you ever use regular handcuffs on a girl's ankles, sometimes the handcuffs may not open even with the handcuff key, and you may have to go to a nearby firehouse and get a pair of bolt cutters and have to cut the handcuffs off her ankles with a bolt cutter. Or so I've been told. So if you're going to handcuff someone by their ankles, use regular leg shackles, please. That's a public service announcement for you, my friend.
Why the hell would you handcuff ankles? Like you don't want them to run?
No, well,
That's the problem.
no,
Maybe.
no. Well,
I'm with. I gotta admit, for the first.
Colin Kaepernick would kneel for handcuffing ankles. And I could get behind that.
Who says that?
I don't know. We're talking about America today. I'll drink my beer. Yes, come on.
Yes. Come on.
he's having a Moscow Mule
Yes, a
chased
Moscow
by
Tropicalia.
No, but you know what? Nobody watches the Yeah Come On show unless you have a sense of humor. We can joke about things. We can talk about things. But here's one thing we can all agree on. On all seriousness, we love America.
Damn right.
Damn right.
Damn
We
right.
live in the greatest country in the world. This is countries where people like Brett Barney can flourish, and that's awesome.
and that says a lot.
Drink to that. So seriously, I've asked like 10 times, can you button one button for me? Just one button. I swear. Anybody, don't you hate guys that wear polos that won't at least button one button?
No,
Look, Mike Brooks has his button. One button.
One button.
To leave it wide open just says, I graduated from Alabama.
He's comfy. Leave him alone.
As a matter of fact.
I'm cool with this. I mean, dude, you gotta flex the chest hair a little bit.
But then it shows too much. It's like the shirt looks there. That looks great right there.
Yep, I have to agree.
Yeah, if you're an asshole.
Got a fashion consultant, Steve. Here.
Man,
Who calls anybody the a-hole word? That's
telling you,
horrible.
all over a button.
My mother listens to this show. She'll joke and go, Steve, don't joke about the rebel flag. That was out of ways. But, him calling you an asshole, I won't have it.
Yeah, my mom did not make it through you getting the clap story.
I did last week.
Did you actually get the clap? Or did you just have the drip?
I had the drip.
A non-gonococcal
No,
infection.
Thank you. Thank God there's a man in the room. I had
it myself.
Oh, you had the iron Q-tip, huh?
Oh, yes, I did.
It hurts.
It does.
So it's a worse
He
pain.
handcuffed her ankles and he went in for seconds.
No, I had the drip too, and all that is a yeast infection in a man's unit.
And
all it is.
and it's from using it too much.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's all I can say.
And when Brett yours has training
Sweet
wheels
brags,
on it,
guys.
I don't know, Brett.
I'm just saying that's what the doctor told me.
That's what the doctor.
Dude, it's not training wheels. My balls are just
It's
that
a
big.
strain.
No, it is a strain. The doctor referred it to me as that it's kind of like a yeast infection. It's kind of like you put and she gave me, I did air quotes again. She told me, she said,
Dude, that's a,
Antibiotics.
Let's welcome on today, Mike Brooks. Use the laser piece.
Brooksy. No, you know what it is? She told me it's like I put my stuff into a bad armpit.
I don't know if that's better or worse.
That's the way she described it to me. She said it was like a dirty armpit, not your fault. I go, thank you.
Just when I thought we were going to have a comeback episode.
So your mother quit watching over that.
No, she's still rocking and rolling.
All right, cool.
Brett barely made it through that story. You almost bit through your finger. You're just like, "Argh."
Brooks, I love looking at this list. Mine would not be this long. I love it. When you graduated at 18, by the way, thanks for throwing that in, Brett, because most guys do graduate at 18.
That's not true.
I graduated on June 10th, and June 25th, I started with the Metropolitan Police Department.
That's incredible, dude.
Yep.
You went straight from high school right into a uniform. Do you think that it hurt you not going to college?
No, I went to college at night. And so I would direct traffic and write tickets all day, and then I would go to class in the evenings and be.
Where's that,
tired as
Brett? Why don't I know that Mike Brooks has a college education?
I was 30 hours short of my degree.
Oh, wow. You're like me.
Because he doesn't have one.
There you go.
Okay, good point. I will tell you.
But you know what?
So
I
what?
went to a real school. It's called the Streets. It's called Hard Knocks. What would a college education do everybody? Do you think it would have made me a better cop having a college education? No.
No. You'd have
Think
been
it would have made me a better television person?
No. College.
I have
cannot
more
help.
life experiences than most people will ever have, and I'm very fortunate for that. And I've traveled the world, working terrorism all around the globe, and I without a college degree, still worked, didn't it?
You're damn right, and I'm right there with you. And the one guy that has a college degree is wearing his shirt wrong.
No. Oh, wait. So the two guys who don't have college degrees want to tell the guy with the college degree how to wear a T-shirt? Mm-hmm. It's all right. Go wash my car and park it for me. I'm sorry.
And spicy.
No, I didn't mean to say that to you, Brooks. I should have air quoted that.
God. Go on, watch this. Somebody in the room's up.
I should have air quoted.
Yeah.
Boy, we were talking about dicks before the show, and you know what? There's another one.
There's another one.
There's another one.
There's another one.
Like, who am I to brag? I got into Alabama and graduated. Like,
No, Alabama's a big deal, regardless of what people think about it.
yeah, we are.
No, I mean seriously, a lot of
You
people
could have never gotten into GW, but that's okay.
I mean, I don't see anybody hanging that degree on their wall in this room.
Yeah, that's okay.
Brett.
Go back tomorrow and get it. But does it do me any good? No.
Yeah, 30 hours, you could go knock that out in a semester.
I could do it online. Do I care to? No.
Damn right.
Would it make me a better person? No.
Would you still get in state?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Harmonizing on the nose.
No. I'm with Brooks. No. Tell me this much, because I love
Dick?
All right, can we quit calling people penis?
No, it's Brett, not you.
Brett. Oh, sorry. Thank you. I love you. I was just dick. Okay. Sorry.
dick. Dude, if you're watching this one on YouTube, this one's a trip.
Wait. Dick. Notice how close it is? Dick.
Oh, man.
Me, Dick. Brooks, God knows.
Hey, why couldn't you have? Why can't you get the studio down in Buckhead so we have to call them all the way to Alpharetta?
I know, damn it. I know a lot of
Just
people.
asking.
Well, don't tell everyone where we are.
Look,
Nobody knows.
nobody knows.
They can find you anyway.
Brett, you're easy to find. Look for a black Camaro.
Oh yeah, they're not going to make Camaros anymore. Did you hear that?
Yeah, you got the last one. Rebel Yale. Hey, man.
Roll Tide.
You could
Roll
pull.
damn tide.
You pull this Chevy steering wheel out of my dead hand. Drive a Camaro. How you like me now? Damn, got stripes on it too. Boom.
Hey, when do I get to start asking Brooks some bullshit questions to mess with him?
Look, we'll ask Brooks questions in a second. I want to learn more about Brooks. I know some things, but I want our
Can we talk
audience
about the
to understand.
movies?
We will get into the movies. Stand by your man. Let's see here. I like the fact when you were investigating things,
Yes.
the U.S. Embassy bombing in Kenya, you did the Khobar Tower bombing in Saudi Arabia. We just discussed that was right now. This is the anniversary of that. Tell me about? Damn it, I'm talking.
Was the TWA Flight 800?
That's where I'm going. I'm going to ask him about the crash of the TW Flight 800. A lot of people believe that was a missile.
Well, there's three thoughts, schools of thought.
He's trying to build suspense.
Girls. When I went up there, they said, look, don't argue with anybody because some people think it's a missile. Thank you, sir. Some people think it's a missile. Some people think it's mechanical.
Hold on. I want to hear it.
And some people thought it was a bomb.
Pop it.
Wait, you want to hear that?
I want to hear this. I love the sound.
I know you do.
A bomb?
Yeah, come on. All right, there you go. Go ahead.
Yes. So, but all indications and all the evidence that we were able to glean from that, nothing led us to think that, number one, it was a missile, and number two, it was a bomb. And
Gotcha.
looking at putting the pieces all back together, because they were able to recover 95% of that plane.
That's
And
unbelievable.
It is.
It really is.
But we used clam boats to rake the bottom of the ocean off of Long Island to make sure we got all the pieces.
What was the depth of the actual destruction? Because the fact that it did happen over water and you recovered that much of the aircraft, how deep was
Can
the
I
water?
just ask, like, when did this happen and what exactly happened? Because I'm sitting here going, what the fuck are they talking about? There we go. Boom, dropped one.
Yeah.
F-bomb.
TW-800 happened in 1996. I just gotten back from Khobar Towers.
I was 7.
Yeah, and it had taken off from JFK and got over the water, and there was an explosion in the fuel tank. It was sparked by a little pump. It's too long to explain, but it blew the fuel tank out, and it went straight down. It broke into a couple pieces. In fact, I was part of the dive operation. I was on the USS Oak Hill, and I was out there for almost a month with Navy divers and that kind of thing, and recovering everything. And then we'd also had people that would go to all the autopsies as they were recovering the bodies and everything else. But they actually found one flight attendant who was still strapped in her seat, and she was totally intact, not a scratch on her. But when they thought they believed that the plane hit the water at about 450 miles per hour.
Damn.
And the G-forces that plane pulled in the part of the plane where she was seated, it basically separated her aorta from her heart, and she bled to death internally. Beautiful girl.
Oh,
Beautiful flight attendant, yeah.
So she was intact, but her insides were from the G's?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That is.
And then it was nasty because the marine life had really wreaked havoc on the bodies and everything else.
Well,
but,
how long does it take? People don't realize how a body deteriorates. You know, you find out that somebody's been missing for 3 or 4 days, and they're like, we can't identify it. I mean, bodies can be unidentifiable that quick.
And it depends on the conditions, you know.
Sure.
And these bodies were in water, you know, like a body right now that's in the woods in the middle of the summertime in the Georgia heat, because you start to decompose basically when your heart stops beating and your blood starts to settle. You start to decompose then. And and some of the bodies were in different states because they were found different time, but within a couple 3 weeks.
So you recovered everyone on the flight?
Yep, recovered everyone.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Again,
How many
being over
people?
the ocean.
God, it was a 747, so I almost over 250 people.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Got in the flight.
And then, you know, but the last trip, last investigation I did that we didn't talk about, it was my last trip that I took for the government. They sent me and an agent over to Malta to prepare for trial. Remember the Lockerbie case?
Yes.
Remember Pan Am 103?
Sure, yeah.
That blew up over Lockerbie, Scotland. They sent me and another guy over to prepare for trial because they thought that Gaddafi was going to be handing over the two Libyans that were responsible for that, Megrahi and the other asshole. But we were in Malta for about a month, re-interviewing everyone because it had been 10 years. Had been 10 years from the time of the bombing. It happened in 1985 until when we were over there, over 10 years. And but that was my last trip, was preparing for trial. And it was funny because the Libyan intelligence, there's this one guy, he would follow us all around. And you'd be sitting at a bar having a beer and you just go, "Hey, bud, buy your beer. Buy your beer, Abdul. How about you there, big boy? Want a beer?"
And he's just following you guys around.
Absolutely. Yeah, when he was with Libyan intelligence. You can put that in air quotes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that deserves.
That deserves air
For
quotes.
this show only, I'm handling all air quotes.
Yeah, but that was an unbelievable trip. In fact, when I was in Malta, was the first time I met Russell Crowe because they were actually filming at that particular time. They were filming Gladiator. The whole scene of the arena was all done in Malta, and also down the mock-up of, remember the movie U-571 about the German U-boat?
Matthew McConaughey.
That's it. They were doing part of that there as well.
And Bon Jovi.
Yep.
He was on it.
All right.
These German subs keep getting older.
Telling you.
Damn it, I messed it up, but I was on the right track.
There you go.
Almost had it.
Almost got it.
Give him another beer, he'll get it.
He will. He will. That's a trip.
There's
there
that
we go.
TWA crash. I mean, piecing that together must have been like the hardest puzzle you've ever done.
Yep.
Like, that's insane.
And then Khobar Towers. See if you can pull up a picture if you find one of Khobar Towers.
Sure,
Khobar. And that was a bad hit. Wait, only 19 Americans were lost, but there would have been many more people killed had it not been for an Air Force security officer who was on top of the building when he saw the truck backing to the fence, and the building 131 where it took the brunt of the damage. That was actually only feet from where the and you look
There you go.
there.
That looks like the Oklahoma City. Yeah, horrible.
Yeah, it does.
God, I remember that.
Yep.
I do remember that.
Yep. And
Wow.
so he was able to sound the alarm, and people were actually able to get out of there. But they figured that bomb, the crater that bomb made, they figure it was a minimum of 10,000 pounds of C4 explosive.
Where do you get your
10
hands on that kind
Well,
of stuff?
here's when we left after the first Gulf War. When the United States left, and they kind of left everything there, and they blew some of the stuff up, blew some of the ordnance up, but some of it they didn't. They believed it was, you ever heard of a Miklik bomb?
Never.
A Miklik mine? What they'll do
Is that anything like a sock bomb?
No, not really. It's basically...
You're watching way too much Saving Private Ryan.
No,
dude.
Saving Private Ryan, a sock bomb. Somebody had to bring it up. It's the only other bomb I know.
It's
Go.
a sticky bomb. You got to use your
Sticky bomb.
socks.
the one that takes down tanks.
Oh, it was called
the tracks.
Right.
It was sticky bomb.
sticky bomb.
Let's
Sorry.
say you want to clear a minefield and you want to get your troops through there. You take this Miklik and you shoot it out, and it's basically like sausaged C4. And it goes out hundreds of yards, and then they crank it off, and boom. And if there's any mines there, they'll be sympathetically detonated, so then you have a clear path. Well, there was a lot of that left, and they think that they took some of these sausage C4s, if you will, and stuffed it into a shit truck, a truck that goes around and cleans out porta-johns.
Oh, my God.
And that's what it
Septic
was.
truck.
That's what it was.
So
And they
septic
stuffed
truck
that
blew
pull in
up.
there. Exactly.
How close?
Damn.
How close was the movie The Kingdom with Jamie Foxx? Because I know you worked on that. Because
Right.
you and I have talked about this before. How close was that to what you actually did?
It was pretty close because the movie The Kingdom that came out in 2007 was basically a combination of three different cases, of a number of different cases they worked in. Then they threw in an attack on a oil workers facility back in 2003. Back before that, I had met with, one day, I got a call from my assistant director. He goes, "Hey, Brooksy, what do you got going this afternoon?" I said, I had court, but it's been continued till next week. He said, "Well, I got some guys working on a project." He said, and they're going to meet me. They were going to be here about 1 o'clock. Can you come down to my conference room about 1 o'clock? He said, I want you, Brad Garrett, and there was some other white-collar geek agent who down there, I don't know the guy. He's a total dweeb. Anyway.
You dweeb.
So we show up there, and who walks in? The director, Michael Mann.
Wow.
And Al Pacino.
Damn.
And they were working on a project, and they hadn't given it a name yet, but they wanted to know my experiences when I was in Karachi, Pakistan, back in November of 1997, investigating the 4 oil workers that had been killed, along with their Pakistani driver coming out of a hotel. They were ambushed and killed by terrorists. And they had sent myself, 2 guys and 2 girls over to Karachi to investigate that particular case. And so we were there with the evidence response team. And as soon as we got there, Scott Jesse, who was the agent who assigned to Karachi, he came on, threw me a submachine gun, threw me an M4 and Hathaway M4. We went over to the hospital, took all the bodies, took all the pictures, and then we put the bodies in the caskets to send them back home. I mean, you talk about nasty. That was one of the nastiest things I had to do.
What is even, and to anybody listening right now or watching, what's left behind when something like that happens?
Well, they were shot with AK-47s, 7.62 rounds, and it just it tore them apart. In fact, we brought the body bags out, and we had to document everything.
Isn't that about a 4-inch round?
It's like a little bit like a 223 round, but
okay.
a little bit longer.
It'll
a little
go
bit
through
fatter.
a door.
Oh yeah, it'll go
Easy.
through body armor.
Imagine flesh. Oof.
But
Swiss cheese, yeah.
As part of the evidence response, we had to document all the evidence, and then we have to turn the bodies, and sometimes rounds would fall out of the bodies, and we have to take them and put in. It was really
Damn.
nasty. But so we were talking about. They wanted to know the experiences about that. They wanted to hear about moving through hostile territory in armored vehicles, in an armored Suburban. Because they used some of that also. Come to find out, what they were working on was the movie The Insider.
Gotcha.
And Al Pacino wound up being one of the stars of the movie The Insider. But Pacino, what a trip he was.
Is he normal?
He looks almost like a wax figure when he came. But we're sitting there, and I was talking about
Mike.
I was talking about driving through Karachi, and the crowds around there, and actually happened to open the door and pointed M16 to everybody, kind of parked the crowd. And I was talking about it. He goes, whoa, hold on. You're telling me you got out of that Suburban and you pointed a gun at that crowd, and that crowd parted and got out of your way so you could drive on down the road? I said, yeah. He goes, whoa.
That's a pretty good impression.
It was actually.
Yeah.
How have you never done this on our?
I'm about to say you
show?
nailed. Yeah, well done on
that pretty good?
Pacino.
Was
That's
that pretty
pretty
good?
damn good. Yeah. You're like, whoa,
Shit.
Whoa, man, you
That was-
must be kidding me.
That was a great Pacino. Oh, I'm sorry, Steve. Air quote me. That was a great
Yeah, so
Pacino.
So Michael Mann had asked me before we started the interview. He goes, "Do you guys mind if I tape record this?" So I said, "No, I don't mind." So he got all that information, and then a couple years later, I get a call from him, and it was right before I was getting to retire. And he said, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing a movie on your kind of a combination of the Khobar Towers bombing and the trip you took to Pakistan." And he said, and we had those bombings over at the and shootings of the people, of 39 people killed at some different compounds in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. He said, do you got somebody I can talk to about maybe doing some research and that kind of thing? I said, well, I'm getting ready to retire, but I gave him the name of somebody. And the FBI actually worked with him to make sure that everything was accurate. So I knew the movie was coming up. And then a good buddy of mine who's still, he runs the explosives lab for the FBI in Quantico now. He called me up because Brooks, he's an Alabama boy.
Roll Tide.
Yeah,
Represent.
He went to Auburn, but
War Eagle.
War Eagle.
Roll Tide.
So he called me.
He definitely buttons that button.
He goes, Brooksy, the information you were working on Michael Mann with? I go, yeah. He goes, well, the movie's out now. He said it's going to be on TV. I said, no kidding. What's it called? He told me, and it's called The Kingdom.
Damn.
And so I watched that, and at the end of the movie, it scrolled the names. It said, this movie's made in the memory of those who died at Khobar Towers, June 25th, 1996, and it listed all the names of everyone. And I had personally found body parts of some of the people who were killed there when we were doing the search of the building. And you talk about just very emotional, very emotional. Wow. But I tell you, it was interesting to have 3 different cases that I worked and made into a movie.
Oh, that's huge.
But you've also consulted on TV too, right?
Yes, yeah. I was a consultant for the show 24. I was a consultant for season 4. And in fact, I still had the scripts, and because we go over the scripts, and then I talked to Kiefer Sutherland about how to hold a gun, and then they had to take over an air.
All right, that's huge. Hold on.
Just
Air quote time. Awesome.
Yeah.
You showed Kiefer like Kiefer. Let me show you how to hold the weapon there, bro.
It took till the 4th season until he actually learned how to do it.
Well,
how sad is that?
They were doing it. They were doing it not the right way, but and
Mike's
also,
like, that's not how you hold a weapon.
And see,
no.
they were also doing one of the episodes was about a hostage situation at an airport, and they were using one of the John Wayne Airport in Ontario, California.
I've been to that airport.
And on the far end of the airport was one hangar that they weren't using, one little piece of the terminal, and they wanted to be accurate about different bombs that they were, inert material that they were doing, but they wanted to make it look real. So I was consulting with them on how to make it look real and that kind of thing. So,
dude, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's why this guy should be working again. 106.7 gone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the party at the end.
Yeah,
it was a full blowout.
Let me tell you something.
Tell me about the party, because we have a picture of you doing a little something at the party where basically you pulled a Gene Simmons.
I'm glad I own the rights to this picture.
Yeah,
you're
the only
a
one
pervert.
smart enough to get one.
You're a pervert. Brooks is doing his job, helping a woman out, giving her the signature she wants, where she wants it, and then you're the guy snapping pickies.
Yeah.
You got a picture of that?
He's the voyeur.
Oh, you're definitely a voyeur.
That's for sure.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, Brooks, tell us what's going on here.
Well, that is me actually signing the breast of a woman by the name of Laura. I won't give her whole name.
Yeah, I would
Quite voluptuous.
But I got to say, her husband was sitting right next to her.
Just cheering you on.
Yeah.
Hey, Brooks, I want to tell you right now, I'm not even going to kiss that breast for 2 weeks, and she ain't going to shower.
And of course, it was a Sharpie. But I saw her 2 days later, and she was able to get it off.
Oh, good.
Okay,
because it is permanent.
And she was able to get the ink off, too.
Unless you have four names, what did you write?
What did I say? Best wishes. Thanks for coming.
Dude, you keep writing until you get to the bullseye.
No, I think I put on, as I always close my show, what do I always say? Stay safe, everybody. I think I put on there, stay safe.
Stay safe, everybody.
That's it.
I really, really, really want everyone to be safe.
Yeah, just
Absolutely.
until she gets it. Can you pull that down a little more?
P.S.
P.S.
Tags. P.S.
It's like a yearbook. Yeah.
P.P.S.
P.P.S. So what do you have for Mike Brooks? You got some quick questions for him?
Am I
Okay.
cool to fire someone? I know you and I know each other, so this is actually hard for me to come up with questions because, I'd be producing Shannon's show and you'd be there and you and I
No
hung out.
problem.
It was just the two of us in one big room.
Brooksy,
for an hour.
It's the two of us.
Brooksy, I just want to tell you that I have nothing to do with these questions. This is the one little segment that I give Brett to do whatever kind of.
That's your disclaimer.
Yeah, he
damn
has
right.
that every week. Yeah.
It's not technically a segment. It's the best part of the show. All right, Brooksy.
Ooh, ow.
The show. What the? All right. Which?
Hey, hold on once
Put our
again.
show in air quotes.
Somebody's a dick.
All right, Brooks. Which movie or TV show gives people the best perspective of what it's like to be a police officer?
It's got to be Adam 12.
Cops was pretty good.
I wrote actually trick question. It's Cops, but what about things like The Wire or Chips?
The
or
Wire.
Reno
The
911?
Wire.
The Wire was fantastic. NYPD Blue.
That was good.
Was another one of my favorites.
All right.
Yeah, and also I've been on the set a couple times of NYPD Blue because a good friend of mine is one of the executive producers, or two of them, and one of them was actually a retired NYPD detective who I went through hostage negotiation school with down at Quantico.
What do you do in hostage negotiation class? You're just like, look, man, give them back.
As simple as this.
Actually, there is certain skill sets that they teach you and everything
Look,
else.
this isn't going to end well for you.
And me being a very empathetic person to begin with,
do you want to go to hell?
Listen, you whack job. Yeah,
help me to help you.
that's the one. Yeah.
How would you
me
like
to
a cheeseburger?
So wait, what about Live PD? I mean, because like the thing is, you don't really see the aspect in a drama. You see the behind the scenes, the in the office, the at the desk. You don't see that stuff in Cops. You just see them making the arrest, and that's it.
Right. And that's why NYPD Blue was good, because it went into the problems. I mean, yes, there's alcoholism. There's I've been married twice, and The Wire the same thing. The Wire was still based in Baltimore. It was still probably one of the
stomping grounds.
Because one guy
DC, in Baltimore,
one guy who wrote it was a cop, I believe, and then the other was a police reporter. So like they had the complete inside, line.
Exactly.
For sure.
No, that was a very good show. I would love to see them bring it back, to be honest.
It's almost impossible to keep a marriage together doing a gig like that, isn't it? Almost.
It's tough.
It's got to be.
It's tough.
Can't even imagine.
Yeah, a lot of late nights. Yeah.
One question I have,
And you can make up a lot of excuses if you want to screw around.
I got a call. That's what they did on The Wire. All
just
the
like
time.
I said, look, I love being married. I just wasn't very good at it.
This wasn't in my skill set.
I'm trying. I'm
only a man. I'm only human. Do the best. I'm weak. Come
on. One question I have based on your question, which, by the way, Brett, was a damn good question.
I actually wrote serious ones for him.
I'm about to say Brooks deserves that kind of respect. Hill Street Blues.
Excellent.
Loved it.
What about Chips?
Probably before his time, but I loved it.
Chips was entertaining.
Reno 911?
Garbage.
All right, why do you even bring that up? Now you're poking at him. That's a dumbass.
Oh, because I've never poked at him before.
All right, go ahead. What do you got? Next question.
All right. At what point is a police officer considered a cop by fellow officers? Meaning, at what point are they accepted into the brotherhood? I know this is a conversation you and I have actually had before, where there are people who always want to be a cop, and then they become a police officer. They go to college, they do whatever for it, then they get this dream job, and then within less than a year, they're like, yeah, this isn't for me. But at what point do you guys accept that?
It's interesting. I just read an article about someone who joined the police department. They decided it wasn't for them. Like, I want to
pansy.
Yeah, exactly. But a lot of it depends where you are actually a cop, whether you're a county cop. Sometimes, chasing juveniles around where there's not a lot of crime. But I'm telling you, if you're in a major city like Atlanta, D.C., Philadelphia, Boston, New York, I mean, you're gonna learn the job quick, and you're gonna. I mean, it can age you quickly as well. Mm-hmm. And I'm very lucky. I feel fortunate to have done 26 years with minimal damage, with still a sense of humor. But there comes a time sometimes you earn your respect on the street.
Gotcha.
And I was lucky because I was a cadet, and then when I turned 20, I got my gun and my badge, and I was 20 years old. I couldn't buy a mixed drink. I couldn't buy ammunition for a gun. I couldn't buy a gun, but I had one. But they allowed you to do that if you were a police cadet for at least a year. They allowed you after your 20th birthday to go ahead and they would swear you in. And then I was assigned to patrol. And I wasn't in patrol very long before I was at the range one time, and there was a captain from the Special Operations Division, and I shot really well. And he asked me to go, and I was a big guy then. He said, would you have any interest in coming to the Special Operations Division? I go, hell yeah, I would.
Love it.
And so I spent the majority of my uniform career in the Special Operations Division.
And that's a cooler uniform too, isn't it?
Well, in 1980, we had back then we had the hostage barricade team that handled barricaded subjects. And then in 1984, they decided, because we had so many jobs, barricade, suicides, jumpers, they decided they wanted a full-time tactical team. So they decided, okay, we're going to form the emergency response team, but everybody had to reapply, even though you were already in SOD, you already had a certain skill set. They made you reapply. It was a 50-person team, because we did have a couple women on the team. It was a 50-person team, and you had to try out. It was a 3-day tryout, and I was lucky enough to be one of the ones who made the cut.
That's good.
And because we had close to 250, almost 300 people apply.
That's a huge thing.
So. And you're a lefty. Do you shoot left or?
I shoot my pistol left-handed. I shoot a rifle right-handed. Because I learned how to shoot a rifle
That's called ambidextrous.
I learned how to shoot a rifle when I was a kid. My dad had a .22, and my next door neighbors, the Nichols boys, and there were two of them became Navy officers, one became a Marine officer. And at my local high school, God forbid it happened today, but at my local high school, the public school, where my dad actually went to junior and senior high school, they had a rifle range in the school.
Crazy.
And I started shooting, and it was a bolt action .22, and I was shooting left-handed, and this Mr. Ramsey, Jim Ramsey, who was the shooting coach, he goes, Mike, you might try right-handed. It might be a little bit easier for you. So I did that. My scores came up, and I've been a right-handed rifle shooter ever since.
Yeah, I got.
And it makes me a better shooter because I'm ambidextrous with pulling the trigger.
At least
down
you
the air quotes.
Look, at least you had that going. I had an archery. We did archery. We didn't have guns. I know it, but you know what I did to make archery intense?
Oh, that's that
sex
native
with a lot of women.
That's that Native American thing coming out in you.
Damn right. I took the arrow. I shot an arrow.
I can smell the deer a mile away. Yeah.
I shot an arrow. Hold on. I can sense it. I smell it. No, I shot an arrow straight up in the air, and you never seen so many people scatter. That was pretty stupid, but it was fun.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of shooting things in the air, with the 4th of July coming up this week,
Little firework action. Come on.
the best game in town, fireworks or gunshots? I mean, at least in my neighborhood.
Hey, if
Up
you-
here,
Yeah, depending
up
where you
here-
live, yeah.
Yeah, I live in Kirkwood, and so that's a big game. I'll sit out on my swing with my Kevlar helmet on, with my bourbon and my cigar, and we'll play gunshots or fireworks.
That's a great visual.
And by the way,
I'll post a picture.
I
I'll tell
won't
you
take a headshot. No, I'm with you. In my neighborhood, too, back in the day. Now it's definitely fireworks, but back in the day, it was gunshot or fireworks.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I can tell you off Buford Highway, it's gunshots.
Oh yeah.
Boy, certain people celebrate a different way. I'm like, what are you doing? Bullets come down. Sorry.
Wait, so at what point is a rookie no longer a rookie in the police department?
Well, technically, after you serve your probationary period, which
So
is
6
1
months,
year.
year? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
But to some senior officers and detectives, you're still a rookie. Hey, rookie.
Yeah, rookie.
Yeah. Or cadet.
Has there ever been a bounty on your head?
No, but I was on a white supremacist hit list.
Wow.
Yeah, I was on a white supremacist hit list.
Bragging rights.
Yeah.
Wait, the 6'7" white guy that's bald
Yeah.
was on the skinhead hit list?
I was on a white supremacist hit list.
That's where they all go. Look, attention, all my supremacists.
He looks like one of us.
Look,
He's an insider.
I'm going to tell you right now, just because he looks like he doesn't mean he thinks like you. Get him.
Actually, Nelson Mandela, after he got out of jail, he decided he was coming to the United States.
God bless him.
So
It's
he
a
was
Mandela.
He was that Mandela fella.
I tell you right now, all that jail time, dude, you're the man. Rock star.
His wife was a nut bag, but anyway,
Not his fault.
no. So he came to the United States. He came to D.C., of course. And at the time, there was, to demonstrate against the South African embassy and against Mandela, there was a 500-foot rule. You couldn't get within 500 feet of an embassy and demonstrate. So at that time, there were all kinds of people demonstrating, and there was a white supremacist group. And my partner, I had just become an investigator, and I just left ERT, and I was with my partner, Jimmy Bradley, and we went down to introduce ourselves to these people to make sure that they were able to practice their First Amendment right of free speech and demonstration. And there was a couple different groups. There was a couple skinhead groups, BASH, the Baltimore area skinheads, and there was another group called the National Alliance. The National Alliance was headed up by a guy by the name of William Pierce. And William Pierce had he wrote books under the name of Andrew McDonald. And he wrote the book called The Turner Diaries. The Turner Diaries was the blueprint that Timothy McVeigh used for the Oklahoma Federal Building, the Murrah Building bombing. And so they were there, and we went up to talk to them. And one of them got his camera right in the face of Jim and hit him in the head with the camera. Well, Jim pushed him back. They jumped on us. We beat their ass and locked up a couple people. And thank God, a buddy of mine, a guy I knew really well, I'll say, who was a reporter for the local ABC affiliate. He and his camera and his photojournalist were across the street and got it all on camera. Well, I got this one guy, Kevin Strom, choked him out, and so they sued us for false arrest, false imprisonment, and use of an illegal chokehold. And it went to federal, it went to jury trial.
Unbelievable.
Well, after everything was done, the jury was out half hour. They found in our favor, of course.
Imagine.
But yeah.
Sorry, I didn't use the proper wrestling move.
So
on
after that, and during that time, I was on a Jim Bradley and myself were on a white supremacist hit list.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
That's not good.
Yep.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
All right, Southside, I'm sorry, man. Just hold on for the rest of these. I'm just going to skip the serious ones and just go right to, the point. Brooksy, have you spent more time in your life on patrol or in a bar?
God, that's a tough. That's a
That's
one.
a good. Is that not a good question for
That's
you?
damn good.
I knew I would give you one. Come on.
I got to give you. That's no one's ever asked that question before. That's pretty damn good.
I don't
though.
know anybody would even think of that question.
But I know him so well. That's
At least
the
you didn't
problem.
go donut shop, so this is good.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
Or
that
how
would've been
about
offensive.
how about in a bar while on patrol? No,
Oh damn! I don't
wait.
blame you.
What happened?
I am just.
What is that considered? Oh, because that's you're
Drinking on the job.
It's a business.
Basically,
it's
yeah.
a business check.
Timeout. He's double dipping.
drinking on the job.
Well, see, Southside will appreciate this.
Hell yeah, well, drinking.
Most Wednesday nights in Washington D.C.
Nice
it was
nights.
ladies' nights.
Yeah, come
Ladies'
on.
night. So if I'm working 3 to 11, and this is back when I was a young boy. If it was 3 to 11 and I'm working, there's certain bars that I would stop in to see what the talent looked like.
Let's
and
look.
you walk in your uniform, and I was always very squared away in my uniform. You walk in, hey, how you doing? And the bartenders know, Brooks, hey, what's up? How you doing, brother? Hey. And then the girls, oh, hi, officer. Hey, how you doing? And you go and you say, and we'd decide which bar after we got off at 11, change our clothes, take a shower, change clothes, and right back to that bar. And then you're there till they close up at 3 o'clock.
So you show up about midnight and go, remember me?
Right. And see, by the time we got there, they had been drinking 2-for-1 drinks, and it
Hello.
was low-hanging fruit.
Did a little scouting trip ahead. A little
there you go.
reconnaissance.
There is nothing. Yeah, if you really want to score, that's what you do. You show up about 11 o'clock, and all the dudes that have been buying the drinks, and then you come in with good game, and you take them, and you
There
have to
you
buy
go.
the drinks. That's what you do.
And you came in man in uniform too, and then later you get to come in
Good job.
casual. They get to see both sides here.
There you
That's
go.
a big cheersy.
Smart
Well,
man.
Thank you.
You're a DC guy. How many presidents have you met? And which ones?
I've met President Carter. I've met President Clinton. I've met Bush 41, Herbert H.W. Bush. And I actually worked his detail when he was VP. And my favorite and I've met Bush 43 as well, but my favorite of all time, and I got to know him very well, was President Ronald Reagan.
Damn.
And if you go to my Facebook page, the first time I met him, there's a picture of me shaking his hand. He was president-elect. And he was heading back out to California after he was president-elect, and it was his first time. Technically, it wasn't Air Force One because he wasn't president yet,
Right.
but it was, one of the presidential planes, and we escorted him out to Andrews Air Force Base, which they now call Joint Base Andrews. But we were out there, and he came up, shook hands. He's got his Secret Service. Well, I'd like to meet all the people that are going to be protecting me for at least the next 4 years. And so he gets everybody there, and we
That's
shake
right
hands.
there with your Al Pacino, by the way.
Thank
I like
you.
it. Keep going.
So we met, and then I happened to be on a Sunday. I was working, and they asked me, "Hey, we work Sunday," and I was in the lead car for the motorcade. And he had Nancy with him this next time. And so he wanted to meet some different motormen and that kind of thing from U.S. Park Police in D.C. And we're lined up, and I'm running the details, so I'm the first one. And he comes up, and he goes, and he's got New York Times, the Washington Post, and L.A. Times under his arm. Excuse me. And he's introducing his wife, Nancy, to everyone, too. And he comes up to me, and he looks, and my name tag said M.J. Brooks. And he comes up, he goes, Mike, right? I go, yes, Mr. President, it's absolutely right. He goes, we've got to stop meeting like this. And he says, he said, I want you to meet my lovely wife, Nancy. Nancy, this is Mike Brooks. He was with me last time we flew back to California. Just an unbelievable guy. And actually got to go into the White House on Christmas morning.
Damn.
At about 1:30 in the morning, and had drinks with the president and the first lady after he went up to a friend's house and exchanged gifts. And he was on the way back. It was cold, but we pulled onto the south on the south grounds of the White House, a motorman, and he had they had little sandwiches set up. They had a bar, and he goes
Eggnog, bourbon,
full bar, bourbon, whatever you want.
I miss
And
those.
presidential
So
bar.
I just want to make sure it was there.
And so everybody, all the motormen, they're all dying for a drink, but everybody's standing around, and the president goes, well, please, help yourself. I said, well, Mr. President, technically we're on duty and we're not supposed to drink. He goes, you mean to tell me you can't have some holiday cheer with the president of the United States? Please help yourself. And so, man,
I would say
the
you
motormen,
could.
there was like locusts. There were bottles.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Most of them were probably hammered anyway because that was their antifreeze, air quotes.
And then everybody's like, Ronald, I love it when you were an actor. You're good.
See, that's why in D.C., the motormen for the U.S. Park Police and the Metropolitan Police, that's why they have sidecars.
Nice.
Number one, when they went around liquor stores and collect all their bottles. And also, if they've been drinking too much, you won't tip over really.
I would definitely want a sidecar.
All right, Brooksy, you're a big DC sports guy. I know this. Everybody who follows you on social media should know this. I want to ask you, looking at the history of DC sports.
There you go.
Okay.
4th of July, Washington Nationals.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, nothing like sitting in what's that, 3rd, 4th place? All right, come on.
Yeah, but who won
brutal,
last night
isn't
and who lost last night? But it's getting there. That's
What,
all
the
right.
Phillies beat us.
It's not even. It's still young in the season, son.
All right, well, looking at the history of DC sports.
Yes.
Seriously. Who's the face of DC sports? Like, which person, which athlete? Because it's a historic area. I mean, the Redskins they're a very historic team. The Nationals they're kind of newer, but you have the Capitals who just a year ago won the Stanley Cup.
Are you talking about currently or of all time?
Of all time?
God, that's a tough one.
I have 2 answers, by the way.
Right now,
I have one.
Right now, I would say the face of DC sports right now is Alex Ovechkin. Okay, but
Russian collusion.
yeah, that's when they went to the White House. Yeah. But we just lost Brett Conley. He was one of the commies that didn't want to go to the White House along with Holtby, but that's
Good
all right.
God.
Anyway, but he's gone.
Let that go and go
But-
see the president.
But I would say right now, because he still has a presence on radio and TV, is John Riggins. Riggo, because the Diesel, he is huge, and Joe Gibbs.
Okay.
Joe Gibbs is also there all the time.
He's like y'all's Ted Turner.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love Joe Gibbs.
God, I met him when he was doing McDonald's drag racing team. He
No
was
kidding.
He was managing that. It was probably like 95, 96. And I had lunch with him and met him and took a picture with him. And that's when he first got into racing and then later to get in, to NASCAR.
Yeah, I tell you,
God, he was a super, super nice guy.
and Joe Gibbs was fantastic. When they won their last Super Bowl, was it 1991, 92? They came back, and I went out there to escort the team in for the victory parade. And as soon as I walked into Redskin Park, the secretary there said, "Hey, Brooksy, Coach wants to see him." So I went up to see Coach Gibbs, and I walked in, and he threw me a game ball.
Damn.
What?
And then he goes, somebody else wants to say hello. We went down to Jack Kent Cook's office, and there's a Lombardi Trophy. And so I have a picture holding a Lombardi Trophy with a game ball with Jack Kent Cook and Joe Gibbs.
That's pretty awesome.
And they
That's
were
way
they,
awesome.
they were great.
So Joe Gibbs would probably be your face of DC sports.
Yeah, but there's a lot of other.
Because like in Atlanta, it'd probably be Hank Aaron.
Yeah.
As far as baseball,
No, I mean just all sports.
all sports.
Well, you know who is still involved in the team with the Redskins and everybody. He's very loves the guy. Is Doug Williams. Doug Williams.
That's not a bad one.
What
No,
about
it's-
Theismann? You didn't hit Theismann.
No, Joe's
Is that
good
your-
too.
That's me.
That's yours?
Yeah, I talked to Joe when we were on Radio Row
I
for the
did
Super
too.
Bowl.
Yeah, I did
and
too.
got to talk to Joe.
He's a pretty cool dude.
Real cool dude. In fact, Brett's heard the story. I was actually on the sideline, on the Redskins sideline, on the end of the bench with former Redskins great Dave Butts. When LT hit him and you could hear his legs snap.
When he made the opening of The Blind Side?
Yeah.
That's good.
That's how you know from my generation.
No,
Millennials.
dude, I remember I had to turn away, but then you have to watch. You're watching between your fingers, and that just was ugly. Oof. All right, I'm gonna give you one more.
No,
I can't give you more than one.
Wait, can I give my two?
Nobody
DC
really gives
sports?
a damn.
All right, I had RG3.
No.
And I had Michael Jordan.
No. He would never.
Oh, he's a wizard.
He shot them
Come
both
on.
down.
Come on.
But
MJ?
Well, one of the other things, Art Monk is also
Art Monk.
is huge.
Told you nobody would give a damn about what you thought.
No.
Damn.
No.
All right, Steve, I'm taking two more. I want to know,
Damn
Brooksy.
it! I just said one more. These got to be quick.
I know. Brooksy, why do you hate soccer? I don't know if you know this, but he absolutely hates soccer.
That's my sport. But go ahead. I'll
Steve,
hear
I didn't
you
know
out.
you were such a fan.
He
time.
played soccer.
It's a
He was-
Euro sport, Euro trash.
You know,
I'm kidding.
I actually played goalie for
Yeah,
the
because you're lazy and you don't want to run
for the
laps. I did
Pentagon.
too.
When I was playing rugby, my next door neighbor, smartass, dumbass, I should call it.
Damn it.
He was with the Pentagon Officers Athletic Club, and he said, "Hey, we're looking for a goalkeeper. Would you like to play?" So I played in 3 or 4 games, but it was just boring as hell. And I'll be damned if I will say nil. That just drives. 1-0, 2-0. Look, it's 1-0 or 2-0.
the Germans-
What's the thing with nil?
I'll be honest with you. When you
It's
used to,
pretentious and horse shit.
no, when you used to watch soccer, when I was watching soccer like
saying.
in the 80s on television, it was always German commentators when you watched European soccer, and they always said nil, and that's where it comes from. 1-0, 2-0. You know,
And what does nil mean? Nothing.
0.
There you go. So it's all
Yeah.
it's pretentious. 1-0.
It's just like now the Spanish guy, goal, goal. For,
Air quotes.
but
Sorry, I didn't mean
Look,
to bring you back to
I
Kavar.
think
And
it's
all
more.
the dweebs at the Atlanta United games, all their
He thinks
scarves in the middle of the summer.
place is getting bombed again.
I will say some of those like soccer clubs are a little over the top. And
Yeah,
I'm saying
dude,
that,
this guy
and I'm
hates
saying that as a
soccer.
guy. I did the play-by-play and the voice for the Silverbacks for 7 years, and I loved it. But there was that one little group that wore all the scarves and hitting the drums and everything. That's not my kind of soccer, but it is. I'm not going to bring a 40-foot flag in there and wave it. It's not my thing, but it is kind of cool when you're there watching it. You're like, damn, that's crazy.
I do have to admit, back in '94, were you born yet?
the
sir?
World Cup,
Yeah,
baby.
I was 5.
Were you
I went to the
What-
World Cup in Dallas.
I was running the security for the venue at RFK.
Okay.
During World Cup in 1994, that was fantastic, and also in 1996 when we had the Olympics,
That was great. I went to
because
those
we
games.
had we had the first round and then I think some semis at RFK as part of the Olympics, and that was fantastic as well.
Yeah, and in Athens, Georgia here. But you're right. There were different locations for the 94 World Cup, and Dallas was one of them. I just didn't make it up your way.
Yeah,
What else? One quick.
You ready? Ready for the dumb question?
I thought we already had that one.
All right, Mike Brooks. If you were playing hide and go seek, and you were the seeker, meaning you had to go out and find the person, and the hiders were Eric Rudolph and Osama bin Laden, who do you think you would find first?
In what?
You're playing hide and go seek.
Right?
You're the seeker.
Yeah.
The two hiders you have to find are Osama bin Laden and Eric Rudolph. Who do you think you would find first?
Well, since Eric Rudolph was here in the United States, you would think that we would find him first.
Took a couple more years, I feel like.
Yeah, because I actually looked for Eric Robert Rudolph.
Did
up
you?
In up in the hills of North Carolina when I was assigned to the Bureau. And, we went up there. And one of my good friends.
Were y'all in the wrong spot, or was he that damn good?
No, we knew he was up there because he left a lot of clues. And one of Craig, I'll just call him one of my good friends, who was actually a SWAT guy with us at that particular time. But before that, he was a Navy SEAL officer assigned to SEAL Team 6, DevGru, for almost 4 years. Great tracker, fantastic tracker. And we came across some things that we knew were his, but
Should have had Steve with you, the Native American blood.
oh yeah,
Thank you. Seriously, thank you.
Hi, yeah.
He's that way.
Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt.
I've got a picture of you
But-
on my left ass cheek, but that's love.
but he was getting a lot of help.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, he was getting a
But
lot.
like bin Laden didn't get help. I mean,
Well, but-
whole terroristic organization.
Yeah, but we also, I don't know if I ever told you, but after the embassy bombings, we actually raided a house in Nairobi. And in that house, we found it was a cover for Osama bin Laden's a charitable organization. We actually got his sat phone coordinates, and on August 20th, you can look this up, August 20th, 1998, we sent cruise missiles to a number of different countries and almost got bin Laden.
Damn.
And I can also tell you that Bill Clinton had a chance to get bin Laden a couple times and decided at the last minute not to do it because it might have killed 3 of his kids. But we had a chance to get him.
Oh.
But
So who would you have found first? Rudolph or bin Laden?
It's hard to say because we were looking for Rudolph, didn't find him, but he had a lot of inside help. In fact, I broke when I was at CNN.
So he wasn't in the woods the entire time.
No.
You think he was staying in homes?
Yes.
Yeah, people made like a romantic vision that he was some survivalist, but he was like eating out of trash
That's right.
cans and stuff.
But let me tell you, when they did catch him, I was a national correspondent for CNN at the time, and I got a call from one of my FBI sources, and all he said was, "We got him." I said, "Got who?" He goes, "Who the hell you think, dumbass?" And it was Rudolph.
Wow.
And in Murphy, North Carolina. In fact, I was the first reporter up there, and to report that actually they had positively identified him and hauled ass up there and. Yep, sure enough. And it's interesting because there was a church across from the jail where he was being held. And it had, those little things they put out on the lawn.
Oh, the signs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Gnomes?
Yeah, this one, no,
the
signs.
The signs in front of church with the little letters like,
no.
God almighty.
Steve's checked out.
like the McRib is back kind of thing.
Right. Well, this one, all it said was, "Run, Eric, run." So they were very anti-government.
Wow.
In Murphy, North Carolina at that time, and so he was getting help. And there's this Italian restaurant.
When
right
a
after you come
church
up
says
from it.
that's pretty damn
Yeah,
bad.
and this one guy who runs the Italian restaurant, he said he would see. Now that he knew who it was, he saw Rudolph walk up that street a number of times over the years.
Wow, so he'd been staying with people and doing things. You
All
done?
right, last question. I'm going to ask this one to Tyler.
Uh-oh.
I'm throwing one off the wall. Hey, Tyler.
We're done.
Everybody
God.
in this room knows Mike Brooks, meaning I know Mike Brooks, Southside Steve knows Mike Brooks. You've just been introduced to Mike Brooks.
Yes.
Would you consider him a Yankee?
Man, you're putting me in the hot seat.
This is a long-running joke between
Oh,
me and Mike
Lord.
Brooks. This has been a long
I'm
situation.
scared to answer, but
Dick.
I wouldn't consider him a redneck, but I would not consider him a straight northerner Yankee.
All right, well, you have to pick.
thank you.
He's either a redneck or a Yankee.
Oh, I have
You gotta
to pick.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, I mean, you'd fit in better with that crowd, but you can be a chameleon, I would say.
No, he's
but
neither. He's a good old boy.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I feel like he slipped in. He slipped into both. He's been both today.
There you go.
That's some booty.
There you go.
So what is he?
Oh, putting me on
Where
the
were you
spot.
I was born in Washington, D.C.
Boom.
And Virginia's always been.
He's an
like,
American.
Half
South
and half.
of
It
the-
goes back and forth.
My
like-
great-grandfather served in the Confederacy.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I had family on both sides.
Yep.
Did he wear that Speedo we saw earlier, I think?
No.
Front lines with that thing?
Yeah.
He fought so you could shine titties, Mike.
There you go.
Hey,
My
somebody's gotta do it.
great-grandfather.
Somebody's-
But my great-grandfather, I don't know if you knew it or not, Steve, was a retired from the Metropolitan Police Department of Washington,
Wow.
D.C. He did 20 years on the D.C. Police Department in the late 1800s, early 1900s.
Dude, I think that's awesome. I love the DC connection with you. That's another one of the reasons we had you on this 4th of July week on the Yeah Come On show. One thing that we do, and I'm going to give you a quick moment here, Mike Brooks, before we end our show. We call it the cigarette break. That's where we give you the normal time that it would take to smoke a cigarette. So we're going to go with a quickie, like somebody's like... So you got about 2 minutes and 20 seconds, give or take. I just want you to plug whatever you want to plug. Tell us about Mike Brooks, where you can be reached on social media, anything you want to say.
You can follow me on Twitter at TV Detective. You can hit me up on Instagram at TV Detective as well. Follow me on Facebook. You can catch me every Sunday at 4 p.m. on AM 920. The Answer on The Arrested Show with criminal defense attorney Dan Conaway. And stay tuned. In about 2 weeks, I might have a little announcement of somewhere else you may be able to find me as well.
I like
it. Yeah, but follow me there because I'm on. As you know, I'm on social media quite a bit and giving my opinion about a number of different things. And a lot of people are bitching about, oh well, President Trump, he's having his salute to America thing on the 4th of July. Well, damn it, I think it's a great idea. And
But Mike, what about the tanks? They're going to crack up the parking lot.
Screw that.
The tanks.
They had M1 Abrams tanks in 1991 rolling down Constitution Avenue for the victory parade. And in fact, I loved it because some damn hippie came out of the crowd, gray hair, ponytail, with little piece.
Ponytail.
Try to jump onto that M1 Abrams tank, and they knocked the hell out of him, knocked him in the middle of the street. MPD came up and knocked him out.
What about shutting down airports for flyovers and fun things?
So what? Good.
God bless America is what I say.
God bless America.
God bless America. You've been listening to the
And stay safe,
show.
everybody.
Oh, damn it. There's his tagline.
Thank you. Got to do that.
I am Southside Steve. This is Brett Barney. And of course,
Barney. Sorry.
That was air quotes for the listeners. One last time. This is a video-heavy episode.
I just want to talk to you. I just want to talk to your mother. Are you really happy about this? And off mic, the one and only Tyler Perry.
Great job.
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
Tyler
Perry.
Tyler.
I'm Medea. I'm Medea now.
Our special guest, Michael to his mom, but to us, Mike Brooks.
Thank you, guys.
It's been a pleasure. Yeah, come on, show. Make sure you subscribe. Yeah, come on.